Rocky Balboa sits in a sterile hospital room staring at an X-ray of his hands when the orthopedic surgeon says the words every fighter dreads. "Mr. Balboa, if you fight again, you'll lose the use of your hands permanently. Your career is over." What Rocky does in the next 6 weeks doesn't just defy medical advice. It rewrites what doctors understand about the human body's ability to heal when the mind refuses to accept limitations. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. March 1978. Tuesday morning. 10:47 a.m. University of Pennsylvania Hospital. 3rd floor. Orthopedic Department. Room 312. White walls. Fluorescent lights humming. The smell of antiseptic and floor wax. That hospital smell that makes everything feel cold. Clinical. Final. Rocky sits on an examination table covered with paper that crinkles every time he moves. Wearing jeans and a flannel shirt. His hands are wrapped in bandages. Have been for 3 weeks. Ever since the last fight. Dr. Richard Kellerman stands at a light board. Studying X-rays. 5 of them. Both of Rocky's hands from different angles. Dr. Kellerman is 52 years old. Chief of orthopedic surgery. 25 years of experience. Seen thousands of sports injuries. Repaired hundreds of fighters' hands. Knows what he's looking at. And what he's looking at is bad. Really bad. Adrian sits in a chair next to the examination table. Holding her coat in her lap. Her face is pale. Worried. She's been worried for weeks. Ever since Rocky started having trouble making a fist. Started wincing when he picked up a coffee cup. Started wrapping his hands even when he wasn't training. She knew something was wrong. Begged Rocky to see a doctor. Rocky kept saying it was fine. Just sore. Just needs rest. But it wasn't fine. And finally, when Rocky couldn't grip a steering wheel without pain, he agreed to see Dr. Kellerman. Dr. Kellerman turns from the light board. His face is serious. The face doctors make when they have bad news. When they've seen something that can't be fixed with surgery or medicine or time. He walks over to Rocky. Says, "Mr. Balboa, we need to talk about these X-rays." Rocky says, "How bad is it?" Dr. Kellerman pulls a stool over. Sits down. Eye level with Rocky. Says, "It's bad. Both hands. Multiple fractures. Some old. Some new. Some healed incorrectly. Your metacarpals, the bones in your hands between your wrist and knuckles, they're compromised. Weakened. Covered in microfractures. Like glass that's been hit too many times. Still intact. But barely." Rocky's jaw tightens. Says, "Can you fix it?" "Fix it?" "Yes. I can do surgery. Place pins. Fuse bones. Stabilize the structure. You'd regain maybe 70% function. Enough to live a normal life. Enough to hold a cup, write, do daily activities. But not enough to fight. Not even close. What if I don't do the surgery?" Dr. Kellerman pauses. Says carefully, "If you don't do surgery and you continue fighting, one of 2 things happens. Either your hands break completely, catastrophic fractures that require emergency surgery and leave you with permanent disability, or the repeated trauma causes nerve damage. Permanent nerve damage. You lose feeling. Lose fine motor control. Lose the ability to use your hands for anything meaningful. And that's not reversible. That's permanent." The room is silent. The only sound is the fluorescent lights humming. Adrian's hand moves to her mouth. Holding back emotion. Rocky just stares at his hands. Those hands. Those weapons. Those tools he's used his entire life. The only things he's ever been good at. Fighting. Hitting. Taking punishment and giving it back. And now a doctor is telling him they're done. Broken. Finished. Rocky says quietly, "So you're saying my career is over?" Dr. Kellerman nods. "Yes. I'm sorry. I know that's not what you want to hear. But medically, ethically, I can't clear you to fight. If you step in a ring again, you're risking permanent disability. Not just as a fighter. As a person. You might not be able to hold your children. Might not be able to work. Might not be able to do basic things we take for granted. The risk is too high." Rocky looks at Adrian. Her eyes are wet. She's trying not to cry. Trying to be strong for him. But Rocky can see it. The relief. Mixed with the sadness. Relief that he'll stop fighting. Stop risking his life. Stop coming home with brain damage and broken bones and all the injuries that accumulate. But also sadness. Because she knows what fighting means to Rocky. Knows it's not just a job. It's his identity. His purpose. His proof that he matters. Rocky looks back at Dr. Kellerman. Says, "What if I let them heal? Give them time. A year. 2 years. Then fight again?" Dr. Kellerman shakes his head. "It won't matter. The damage is structural. Time won't fix it. The bones have been traumatized too many times. They've healed and broken so many times that they're fundamentally weakened. It's like bending a wire back and forth. Eventually it breaks no matter how much time you give it. Your hands have reached that point. One more serious fight and they're done. Permanently." Rocky says, "So what do I do?" "You retire. You do the surgery. You heal. You move on with your life. You're the heavyweight champion of the world. You've accomplished more than most fighters dream of. You've got money. Fame. Family. You don't need to keep fighting. You've already proven everything you need to prove." Rocky doesn't respond. Just sits there. Processing. His entire identity is being stripped away. Fighter. Champion. The guy who doesn't quit. The guy who stands up no matter how hard he's hit. And now a doctor is telling him he can't stand up anymore. His body won't let him. His hands are betraying him. Forcing him to quit. The one thing Rocky swore he'd never do. Adrian says, "Rocky, maybe this is a sign. Maybe it's time to stop. You've been hit so many times. Your body is telling you something. Maybe we should listen." Rocky looks at her. Says, "My body's been telling me to quit since I was 20. I never listened. Why start now? Because this is different. This isn't about toughness. This isn't about heart. This is about permanent damage. About not being able to hold our children when you're 50. About not being able to live a normal life. Rocky, I love you. I want you to be okay. And fighting again won't make you okay. It'll destroy you." Rocky stands up. Starts pacing. Small room. Only a few steps before he has to turn. He's caged. Trapped. His hands hurt. His head hurts. His heart hurts. Everything hurts. Says, "I got a mandatory title defense in 3 months. Against Ernie Shavers. Contract signed. Promotion started. If I back out now, I forfeit the belt. Forfeit the purse. Forfeit everything." Dr. Kellerman says, "I'll write you a medical exemption. Document your injuries. The boxing commission will honor it. You won't lose your title. You'll be forced to vacate due to medical reasons. It's not quitting. It's protecting yourself. Rocky stops pacing. Says, "It's still quitting. Call it whatever you want. But walking away from a signed fight, that's quitting. And I ain't never quit nothing in my life. Ain't starting now." Dr. Kellerman stands. His voice gets firmer. More authoritative. Says, "Mr. Balboa, I'm not giving you a choice. I'm telling you as your doctor, as someone who has sworn an oath to protect patients, you cannot fight. If you fight Ernie Shavers, if you let him hit these hands, you will suffer catastrophic injury. And I will not be complicit in that. I won't clear you medically. Won't sign off. Won't give you permission. You want to fight? You'll have to find another doctor willing to risk your future. And I guarantee you won't find one. Not one who's ethical. Not one who cares about you as a person instead of a paycheck." Rocky and Dr. Kellerman stare at each other. A standoff. Doctor versus fighter. Medical reality versus fighting spirit. Logic versus heart. After a long moment, Rocky says, "Thank you for your time, doctor." Walks to the door. Adrian follows. Rocky doesn't look back. In the car, Adrian says, "What are you going to do?" Rocky stares out the windshield. Says, "I don't know." Rocky, please. Listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. I know he knows. But Adrian, fighting is all I got. All I ever had. You take that away, what am I? Just a guy from South Philly who got lucky once. Just a has-been with broken hands and scrambled brains living off memories. I can't be that. Won't be that. You're a husband. A father. A champion. You're Rocky Balboa. That doesn't change just because you stop fighting. Don't it? Everyone's gonna say I quit. Say I was scared of Shavers. Say I ducked him. Say I wasn't really champion. Was just a lucky bum who caught lightning in a bottle twice. Who cares what people say? I care." Rocky's voice cracks. Emotion overwhelming him. "I care because I spent my whole life being nothing. Being invisible. And finally I matter. People know my name. People respect me. And if I quit now, all that goes away. I go back to being nothing. And I can't do that. Won't do that." Adrian is quiet. Then says, "You'll never be nothing to me. To our children. To everyone who loves you. That's what matters. Not what strangers think. Not what the media says. What's real. What's true. And the truth is you're more than a fighter. You always have been." Rocky doesn't respond. Just drives. Lost in thought. Battling himself. The part of him that knows Adrian's right. Knows Dr. Kellerman's right. Knows he should retire. Should protect his future. Should be smart. And the other part. The part that can't quit. Won't quit. The part that defines itself by refusing to stay down. By fighting through impossible odds. By doing what everyone says can't be done. 3 days later. 4:30 a.m. Rocky's in a gym. Not Mickey's gym. A different gym. Underground. Literally. Basement of an abandoned warehouse in South Philly. No sign. No name. Just a steel door and stairs going down. This is where fighters go when they can't train anywhere else. When they're banned. When they're damaged. When they're desperate. The gym is barely functional. One ring. Held together with duct tape and hope. A few heavy bags. Some weights. Everything's old. Used. Broken. But functional. Like the fighters who use it. Rocky's wrapping his hands. Not regular wraps. Special wraps. He's been researching. Talking to old fighters. Learning about fighters who kept going after doctors said stop. Learning their techniques. Their tricks. Their ways of protecting damaged hands while still being able to fight. The wraps he's using are thick. Padded. Reinforced. Not legal for sanctioned fights. But legal for training. He wraps slowly. Carefully. Trying to stabilize his hands. Trying to support the damaged bones. Trying to give himself a chance. Mickey appears from the shadows. He's been watching. Waiting. Says, "Rock, what are you doing?" Rocky doesn't stop rapping. Says, "Training. Doctor said you can't fight. Doctor said I shouldn't fight." Different thing. Mickey walks closer. Says, "Don't play word games with me. I heard what Kellerman said. Your hands are done. You fight shavers, you'll never use them again. You know what that means? You'll be 35 years old with hands that don't work. Can't write. Can't work. Can't do nothing. That's what you want? I want to not quit. Want to fulfill my contract. Want to defend my title like I'm supposed to. Defending your title ain't worth destroying your life." Rocky stops rapping. Looks at Mickey. Says, "Mick, my whole life people told me what I can't do. Can't be smart. Can't be successful. Can't be champion. And every time, I proved them wrong. Not because I'm special. Because I don't quit. That's my only skill. That's the only thing I got. And you're asking me to quit. Asking me to listen to limits. Asking me to accept what someone else says is possible. And I can't do that. Won't do that." Mickey sits on a stool. Tired. Old. He's been in boxing 60 years. Seen everything. Seen fighters destroy themselves chasing one more fight. One more payday. One more chance at glory. Seen them end up broke. Brain damaged. Crippled. All because they couldn't walk away. Couldn't accept that their body had limits. And now he's watching Rocky walk the same path. Says, "Rock, there's a difference between refusing to quit and refusing to accept reality. Refusing to quit is admirable. Refusing to accept reality is stupid. And you're being stupid." Rocky's jaw tightens. Says, "Maybe. But it's my stupid. My choice. My hands. My career. My life. It's Adrian's life too. Your kid's life. They need you. Not as a champion. As a father. As a husband. You destroy your hands, you're not just hurting yourself. You're hurting them." Rocky knows Mickey's right. Knows every word is true. But knowing doesn't change anything. Doesn't change the fire inside. Doesn't change the need to prove himself. To finish what he started. To not let limitations define him. Says, "I got 6 weeks. 6 weeks to figure out how to fight with broken hands. 6 weeks to do what doctors say is impossible. You gonna help me or not?" Mickey stares at Rocky. Long silence. Then says, "You're the most stubborn son of a bitch I ever met." That a yes? Mickey sighs. Says, "Yeah. That's a yes. But we do this my way. We protect those hands as much as possible. We train different. We fight different. We make this as safe as we can. Safe as we can still means I'm risking everything. I know. But you're gonna do it anyway. So I might as well be there. Might as well try to keep you from killing yourself." For the next 6 weeks, Rocky trains unlike he's ever trained before. Not focusing on power. Focusing on technique. On precision. On using his whole body to generate force so his hands don't have to absorb all the impact. Mickey brings in specialists. A biomechanics expert who teaches Rocky how to align his body for maximum efficiency. A hand therapist who shows Rocky exercises to strengthen the supporting muscles and tendons around the damaged bones. A sports psychologist who works on pain management. On mentally blocking out the constant ache. Rocky learns to punch differently. Not loading up. Not trying to knock out Shavers with one shot. Instead, throwing volume. Quick combinations. Using angles. Making Shavers work. Wearing him down over rounds instead of trying to end it early. It's not Rocky's natural style. Rocky's a brawler. Likes to stand in the pocket and trade. But brawling with broken hands is suicide. So Rocky adapts. Changes. Becomes something he's not because that's the only way to survive. He trains at night. When nobody's watching. When the gym is empty. Because if word gets out that he's training, if boxing commissions hear about it, they'll shut him down. Force him to vacate. So Rocky trains in secret. In the shadows. Like a fighter underground. Fighting not just Shavers. Fighting the medical establishment. Fighting reality itself. His hands hurt constantly. Every punch sends pain shooting up his arms. Sometimes the pain is so bad he has to stop. Has to sit down. Has to breathe through it. Adrian doesn't know he's training. Rocky told her he's doing physical therapy. Told her he's healing. Told her he's accepting retirement. All lies. All necessary because if Adrian knew the truth, she'd try to stop him. And Rocky can't be stopped. Not by doctors. Not by pain. Not by reality. 6 weeks pass. Fight week arrives. Rocky's hands are no better. Might be worse. But Rocky's learned to manage. Learned to fight through the pain. Learned to protect them just enough to survive. The weigh-in happens. Rocky and Shavers face off. Shavers is massive. 6 feet 2 inches. 220 pounds. Hardest puncher in heavyweight history. 54 knockouts in 68 wins. Shavers hits so hard he's put men in the hospital. Ended careers with single punches. And Rocky's going to stand in front of him with hands held together by wraps and willpower. At the weigh-in, a reporter asks Rocky, "How are your hands?" Rocky lies. Says, "Great. Best they've ever felt." The reporter doesn't believe him. Says, "We heard you saw Dr. Kellerman. Heard he found fractures." Rocky says, "He found some old injuries. Nothing serious. Nothing that's gonna stop me from defending my title." After the weigh-in, Mickey pulls Rocky aside. Says, "Last chance. We can still call this off. Say you got the flu. By some time." Rocky says, "No. Tomorrow night. I fight. Fight night. The Spectrum Arena. 19,000 people. Cameras. Lights. The heavyweight championship of the world. Rocky Balboa vs. Ernie Shavers. In the locker room, Rocky wraps his hands. The commission inspector watches. Making sure everything's legal. Rocky uses standard wraps. Not the special padded ones from training. Those aren't allowed. So Rocky's hands have minimal protection. Just tape and gauze. Against the hardest puncher in boxing. It's insanity. It's suicide. It's Rocky Balboa doing what Rocky Balboa does. Adrian comes to the locker room before Rocky walks out. Says, "I know." Rocky looks up. "Know what?" "I know you've been training. Know your hands aren't healed. Know you're fighting anyway." Rocky starts to deny it. Adrian stops him. Says, Don't lie to me. I'm not stupid. I see the way you move. The way you wince when you think I'm not looking. I know what you're doing. And I hate it. Hate that you're risking everything. Hate that you won't listen. But I also know you. Know you can't quit. Know you'd rather destroy your hands than walk away from a fight. So I'm not asking you to quit. I'm asking you to be careful. To be smart. To remember that we love you. And we want you to come home. Not as a champion. Just as you. Rocky's eyes water. Says, I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Just be careful. They embrace. Hold each other. Rocky whispers, I love you. Adrian whispers back, I love you too. Now go prove everyone wrong. Like you always do. The fight starts. Shavers comes out throwing bombs. Massive right hands. Hooks with bad intentions. Rocky doesn't stand and trade. Uses footwork. Movement. Angles. Stick and move. It's not pretty. It's not exciting. But it's smart. Rocky wins round 1 on movement. Shavers barely lands. Round 2. Shavers adjusts. Cuts off the ring. Corners Rocky. Lands a body shot. Rocky's face shows pain. Not from the body shot. From his hands. Every punch he throws back hurts. Sends pain through his arms. But Rocky doesn't stop. Throws combinations. Quick shots. Not power. Just volume. Round 5. Rocky's hands are swelling inside the gloves. He can feel it. The bones shifting. The pain intensifying. Every punch is agony. But Rocky keeps throwing. Keeps moving. Keeps fighting. Shavers is getting frustrated. Can't land clean. Can't hurt Rocky. Rocky's making him miss. Making him look bad. Round 8. Shavers lands a big right hand. Catches Rocky clean. Rocky goes down. First knockdown. The crowd gasps. Mickey's screaming, get up, Rock. Get up. Rocky gets to one knee. His vision is blurry. His head is ringing. But his hands. His hands hurt worse than his head. He looks at them. Swollen. Damaged. Maybe broken beyond repair. And Rocky has a choice. Stay down. End this. Protect his future. Or get up. Keep fighting. Risk everything. Rocky gets up. Of course he gets up. Because Rocky Balboa doesn't stay down. Ever. The referee asks if he can continue. Rocky nods. Fight resumes. Rounds 9 through 13 are war. Both men exhausted. Both hurt. Shavers is landing power shots. Rocky's landing volume. Rocky's face is destroyed. Cut above both eyes. Nose broken. Mouth bleeding. But he's still standing. Still throwing. Still refusing to quit. His hands are numb now. Can't feel them anymore. Might be nerve damage. Might be the end. But Rocky keeps throwing. Muscle memory. Instinct. Heart. Round 14. Rocky lands a combination. Left hook to the body. Right hand to the head. Shavers' legs wobble. Rocky sees it. Smells blood. Ignores the pain in his hands. Throws everything. Combinations. Hooks. Uppercuts. Shavers covers up. Rocky unloads. 30 seconds of sustained assault. Shavers goes down. The crowd explodes. Shavers beats the count. Survives the round. Barely. Round 15. Final round. Both men are beyond exhausted. Beyond hurt. Running on fumes and will. Rocky's hands are useless. Can barely make a fist. But he keeps throwing. Keeps fighting. The bell rings. Both men collapse. It's over. Went the distance. The judge's decision takes 5 minutes. Feels like hours. Finally, the ring announcer, ladies and gentlemen, after 15 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Williams scores it 143 to 142. Judge Matthews scores it 144 to 141. Judge Romano scores it 144 to 141. All for the winner, and still heavyweight champion of the world, Rocky Balboa. Rocky collapses. Can't stand anymore. Mickey and his cornermen hold him up. Rocky looks at his hands. Swollen. Purple. Useless. He can't move his fingers. Can't feel them. Might never feel them again. But he won. Defended his title. Proved the doctors wrong. Proved everyone wrong. Did what they said was impossible. In the hospital that night, emergency surgery. Dr. Kellerman performing. Rocky's hands are catastrophically damaged. Multiple complete fractures. Nerve damage. Tendon damage. Everything the doctor warned about came true. The surgery takes 6 hours. Pins. Screws. Grafts. Kellerman does everything possible to save Rocky's hands. To give him some function. Some quality of life. When Rocky wakes up, both hands are in casts. Kellerman is there. Says, "You did it. You fought with broken hands and won." Medically, it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Humanly, it's one of the most remarkable. You shouldn't have been able to do what you did. The pain alone should have stopped you. But you kept going. Kept fighting. Your body was telling you to quit. The nerves were firing warning signals with every punch. And you ignored them all. That's not just toughness. That's something else. Something I can't explain medically. Rocky's voice is weak. Asks, "My hands?" Kellerman pauses. "We'll know more in 6 months. The surgery went well. But the damage is severe. You might regain 80% function. Might be less. Might be more. Too early to tell. But Rocky, your fighting career is over. This time for real. Your body won't survive another fight. Won't survive more damage. You fought your last fight. And you won. Be grateful for that." Rocky nods. Doesn't argue. Doesn't fight it. Because he knows Kellerman's right. He's got nothing left to prove. Fought with broken hands and won. Did the impossible. Prove that will can overcome physical limitations. That heart can beat medical reality. At least for one night. For one fight. For one impossible victory. 6 months later. Rocky's hands have healed. Not completely. Never completely. He has about 75% function. Can write. Can hold his children. Can do most normal things. But can't make a tight fist. Can't punch a heavy bag. Can't fight. His career is over. But Rocky's okay with that. Because he proved what he needed to prove. That limitations are sometimes just suggestions. That the impossible is sometimes just the improbable waiting for someone crazy enough to try. Years later, medical students study Rocky's case. Study how he fought 15 rounds with catastrophically damaged hands. Study how he generated power without proper bone structure. Study how he managed pain that should have been incapacitating. And they can't explain it fully. Can't reduce it to charts and graphs. Because what Rocky did transcends medicine. Transcends science. Exists in that space where human will overrides physical reality. Rocky tells those students, I don't recommend what I did. Don't recommend ignoring doctors. Don't recommend fighting with broken hands. But I also don't recommend living with regrets. Don't recommend wondering what if. Don't recommend letting other people define what's possible for you. I had a choice. Retire with healthy hands and wonder if I could have kept fighting. Or fight with broken hands and know for sure. I chose to know. And yeah, my hands are damaged. But my soul is intact. My pride is intact. I don't have regrets. Don't wonder what if. I know. I fought until my body absolutely couldn't anymore. And that's worth damaged hands. That's worth everything. Who in your life is telling you what's impossible? What doctor, what expert, what authority figure is defining your limitations? And are those limitations real? Or are they just educated guesses based on averages? Because Rocky Balboa was told he'd never fight again. Was told his hands couldn't survive one more fight. And he fought anyway. And he won. Not just the fight. The war against limitations. Against accepted reality. Against everything that says you can't. Should you ignore medical advice? Probably not. Should you risk permanent disability? Probably not. But should you accept other people's limitations as your own? Should you let experts tell you what's possible? Should you quit because someone with credentials says you should? That's the question. And only you can answer it. Rocky answered it with broken hands and 15 rounds of proof. Proof that sometimes impossible is just a word. Just an opinion. Just a limit waiting to be broken. By someone crazy enough. Stubborn enough. Heart-filled enough to try. That person was Rocky Balboa. Could be you. If you're willing to fight through the pain. Through the doubt. Through everyone saying stop. That's where miracles live. In the space between quit and one more round. Rocky found that space. Lived in it. Proved it exists. Now the question is whether you will too.